My dad is actually a real life prince. So my granddad, I know first thing you think is coming to America, right?
Oh look.
I know.
I wasn't ready for that, man.
Yeah.
Is it a time, man?
Yeah.
Bro.
So
what does that make you if he's a prince? You Prince Junior?
So no, not quite. But here's the thing, like my granddad was a famous king in Nigeria, and he helped them to get their independence back from the British Kingdom, from Queen Elizabeth, the one that just passed. Like he was knighted by her. They got pictures together and all that kind of stuff.
That's you?
That's my uncle. Yeah, I mean my granddad. So.
Yo, flex on me, please don't flex on me. Might answer wrong, please don't test on me. Bless on me, I choose bless on me. Act your seat, got big rats on me.
Yo, it's your boy Chris Elijah, man. Hey, and get what? I'm processing right now, and today, man, I got a very special guest to hear, none other than one of my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who I came up with. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's really Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I got my homeboy 2.0 in the building, man. Y'all know what it is. Y'all get up for 2.0.
What's going on? What's going on, good people?
I forgot we had no audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could just put some claps. I could just act like people here.
Okay. What's going on, good people? How y'all doing? Hey, what's going on?
It is people here, but y'all know what I mean. Man, I'm happy to have you, my boy. Yes, sir. He's in the building. Anything you want to say to the people? I know you got a lot to say.
Starting off, man, listen.
Don't listen. Hey, I'm going to let y'all know, anytime somebody come like this, you need to walk away.
Right. You got to be woke to hear.
But
if they do like this, you got to be woke to hear. You won't even hear it because they're not speaking in your frequency.
Yeah.
They finna talk on a higher frequency, so if you vibrating too low, you're not going to catch it.
I just had a low frequency plate.
A whole plate of low frequencies.
Boy, it was good, boy.
But this man...
It was...
This man listening to AM radio. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I like to hear him talk. But
he ain't even on the right radio frequency.
I like to hear him talk personally.
No,
man, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm just moving and shaking, staying in motion. You know what I'm saying? Just out here trying to be somebody for my city and for my kids, man. And
I can dig it.
For the big God, you know what I mean?
The biggest.
Apparently, big God already made me somebody, believe I am somebody. I just got to figure out who that is.
Yeah. Man, I don't even know where to start. I feel like you've done a lot. A whole lot. It's like you live about 2-3 different lives.
I do feel like that.
Cause like when I found out that you play tennis,
yeah,
I was shocked. I ain't never seen somebody like me play tennis. Never.
Oh boy.
Ever.
But I almost got kicked out of school. I used to have, that was back in my statistic days. So I had a box Chevy, I had an 82 Caprice, I had 8 at the bottom, 6 at the top.
And he's saying all this. Tell him what college you went to.
I went to Morehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the full. I'm the last person to go on the full tennis scholarship. So I had 8 at the bottom, 6 at the top, and I'm sitting there grilling, but I turned my teeth a certain way so the light hit the my opponents. We won't identify them by pigment.
You didn't.
But my opponents.
You didn't do that.
Bro. I did, and asked me if I won. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Oh, that hurt their feelings.
Boy, I'm from the west side. You know what I'm talking about? I grew up in Washington Park, boy. It's a lot of. It ain't a lot, but it was plenty of champions. We special in Atlanta. Atlanta's actually a tennis city.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. No, you ever noticed that it's tennis courts
everywhere. I don't know why.
That's not normal.
Even like at County Line Park, you know what I'm saying? Where I grew up at, it was a tennis court. Nobody played on it. Like they threw beer bottles and stuff over there and be gambling, and
it's a lot of tennis in the city. Bro.
It is.
It's more tennis here than it is anywhere else in the world. Like you got places in Florida and places in California, but as far as African Americans playing tennis, it ain't nothing like it anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. Can you tell us your tennis journey? Like, first of all, do you even know statistically how many African American male tennis players there are?
On what level? Professional, recreational, college?
I would say like college, professional.
College is not a lot. Just because, the way that this country is set up. a lot of us don't have the environments that are conducive for us to focus. You get what I'm saying? So shoot, I almost got caught. I quit going from middle school to high school. Me and my partner, I'm Nigerian too, so that's how I got into it.
Another life.
I know, right? so that's I was born into it. That's a sport in my family in Nigeria, a big one. Nigerians look at tennis kind of like we look at football. Nigerians look at they
For
do
real?
tennis and soccer.
Yeah.
Well, at least back
I know the soccer.
the 90s and the 80s and whatever. It was their big sports was tennis and soccer, and then now they're starting to get more into basketball and all that. But yeah, around the time I was born, that was just natural. So I grew up. My dad was one of the first directors at Washington Park downtown, across the street from Morehouse, ironically. And so I grew up there. I used to be with him at work. We'd come there, pass all the trap houses, all the, you know what I'm saying, the needles and the condoms and the drugs in the parking lot. Got our car broke into a whole bunch of times, but then once you passed through them doors, it was like a safe space for the kids and for the community.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this, but the owner of that whole land, like the track, I don't know if you know much about the west side like that, but the track and the kickball field, well, the softball field, baseball field, and the tennis courts, that land was owned, I think, by a black man. And when he sold it to the city, he said, the only thing is this has to always be a recreational site for this community.
For the community.
Y'all can't turn it into nothing else, no parking lots, no industrial buildings, no none of that.
And they went with it. They went for it.
They can't do it. It's paperwork that go along with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's always been there. It's some issues right now, but them tennis courts still there, and they produced a lot of great players. Because it was the first in the city of Atlanta. So everybody who's great that's from Atlanta
came through
up to a certain degree. Had to touch and had to, if they didn't grow up there or spend some time there, they know somebody that's from there, or they know about it. You know what I'm saying?
I can dig it.
So
that's hard. That's hard. Like, I had no idea. When you told me, bro, I'm like, bro, okay, whatever. Like, he played tennis, but now, y'all, he play tennis. Like, tell him, go into detail, like for real, like how talented are you in tennis?
You can say I take semi-pro, professional. Not like I feed my family off of it. I just came from my first pro tournament in a whole bunch of years, like a month ago. Just trying to, I just decided I want to be back in shape. I ended up in the main draw, got a little check from it, played a couple tournaments, won some money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? International tournament was one of them. And then the other one was like a real pro tournament, like the folks you see on TV. It was low level, but you know, I still got into it.
You was on there. You was on there, my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I does it. I'm trying to use all my talents, man. Everything that God gave me, I wanna, like, when I another lifetime, when I split from my ex, man, the mother of my oldest two kids, I had a reality check, and it was kind of like, what have I been doing with my life? And
boy.
And I
you on the right show, boy.
Listen, and I look back and I was like, man, there's parts of me that grew, but there's more parts of me that died. And I felt like, I'm not blaming her. I can't blame her.
Of course.
But it was like, man, I haven't been utilizing everything that God gave me, and I believe that God didn't give it to me like for it to die. And I got convicted because at some point I read the parable of the talents again, and this time when I read it, that mug convicted me.
Yeah.
I saw myself in it, and I was like, dang, bro, like, I can do this, I can do that, but I ain't touched that in years. Why? Well, because I'm trying to be responsible. I'm trying to feed my family, and it's like, I didn't create you to survive. I created you to do the things that I put in you.
That I put in you.
Yeah.
So how do you balance chasing your dreams and providing for your family, because your dream is gonna take some financing?
The same way that the people that the overseer gave them talents to. Like, I gave you the talent, it's up to you to flip it. It's up to you to figure out how you're gonna develop this talent and make it grow and be more than what I gave it to you for. So just like with music, like I didn't know I could do music till I got filled with the Holy Ghost. I never thought about music at all. But being Nigerian, doctor, lawyer, engineer, anything else is a waste of life. You're wasting your life. If you're not,
for real in the Nigerian African households, y'all doing that for real?
Boy, you see, my uncle still trying to ask me when I'm gonna go back to school and get an MBA. Like these are conversations I'm having.
That's a blessing.
With a 14-year-old child, and I've been feeding and taking care of my family for at least 14 years. Man. Or when you yes, I see that you are doing okay in business. When are you going back to get your second degree so you can make more money?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, one day I'm not through doing what I'm doing right now. But, and I appreciate it, but you know, with the music, nobody didn't teach me. No, I couldn't afford to go to no studio. I couldn't afford to pay for no publishing. I couldn't afford lawyers. I couldn't afford none of that stuff. Still really can't afford it. But it was like, man, well, shoot, God, if this is something that I'm supposed to do, and I ain't on you, it's on me. I got the talent, I got the idea, and I got the vision. Figure it out. It's like, shoot, a hustler, like, in it, especially being from Atlanta, but I don't need nothing. You put me in, you give me an idea. I'm gonna figure out how to run it.
We running.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to run it. It's like, okay, bro, I need $20 by tomorrow. Okay, cool. How can I make $20? Shoot, we can get these waters for about $5. Hit the block, sell these water for $1 a piece. I got a 20 piece. Shoot, we can take that, flip that. But we done made about $60 a day.
Yeah.
We got 12-year-olds who have that train of thought. Think about a grown man.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's some less legal ways to do it, but at the same time, if you want to accomplish something, you're going to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
If you want to bad enough, so.
Facts.
Ain't no excuse, man. God know how he made us.
So what about this African household? So, like you said, you're Nigerian, you know what I'm saying? And I know what it means.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like my folk, you know, we from, I don't even know, to be honest, and that's sad. America, we gotta fix that.
Right.
Look, but just knowing where you from, like, I always respected people like who honored and knew where they were from, because a lot of African Americans in this country, we have no idea. We can trace it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you only tracing one side, even when you trace it back. So there's a whole nother side that we missing out on. You know what I'm saying? But just speak to being a Nigerian American almost, you know what I'm saying?
real, yeah. So, I don't even talk about this a whole lot, man, but my dad is like fresh off the boat, so, and, little known 2.0 fact, my dad is actually a real life prince. So my granddad, I know, first thing you think is coming to America, right?
Hold up.
I know.
I wasn't ready for that, man. Is it a time, man?
Yeah.
Bro.
So
dad, what does that make you if he's a prince? You Prince Junior?
So no, not quite. But here's the thing, like, my granddad was a famous king in Nigeria, and he helped them to get their independence back from the British Kingdom, from Queen Elizabeth, the one that just passed. Like, he was knighted by her. They got pictures together and all that kind of stuff.
That's you?
That's my uncle. Yeah, I mean my granddad. So my dad grew up in a palace. He been having Rolls Royces, Benzes, and all that kind of stuff, drivers and all that kind of stuff. But he grew up in he went to boarding school from the age of 8 up until he decided to go to college. And so he decided, because he could have went pro in tennis or soccer.
Yeah.
Remember, that's what they do over there.
That's crazy.
But here's the catch. When he came over here, left a lot of that stuff behind, because one, the conversion of Nigerian currency, the naira, to American currency, is way less. But then two, my granddad had over 100 kids. He had like 32 wives, and he had over 100 kids. So they got a palace to support all of that.
I think you had to have one.
But
he went at that point.
But you got to think, if there is any inheritance, you split that 100 ways, boy. It ain't little or nothing.
I would.
Yeah, so I didn't grow up with the wealth per se of a prince or a royal family, but I grew up with a wealth of knowledge and mentality,
And
my
pride.
mindset.
And wealth of pride.
Well, yeah, true. And knowing, well, I see that's where Atlanta come in, because it's like, man, it's already some pride that we got, knowing that we affect the culture, knowing that. So I got it at least two times. So it's like, man, couldn't nobody tell me nothing because I was from Atlanta. I ain't realize it till later, but that's just our culture to feel like you not better than me, and whatever you can do, I can do it too.
Yeah.
But then it got doubled down on, because my pops was like, man, we don't do that. We don't act that way. So I'll be at summer camp Best Friends. If you know about it from the west side, you really
Camp
from
Best
Atlanta.
Friends.
Know about Camp Best Friends, the city of Atlanta summer camp situation. And so I'll be at camp, right, for tennis. And everybody finna go hit the track for lunchtime and walk around the track. We might see a dead body. We might see some panties in the back because it was a mattress behind the last courts and no folks was getting smashed back there. And just any kind of thing. It's an adventure. It's a hood adventure. You know what I'm saying? Possibly like, nah, you can't go outside. I'm like, we just going around the track. Everybody's going. It's about, we a group. Everybody. Nah, you gonna sit in here. We in the office. Me and my little sister, we in the office looking at each other like, come on, bro. Like, everybody else outside, hanging out, cooling. We sitting there looking. And it wasn't until I got older that I appreciated little lessons like that, because it helped me to have my own mind, to think my own thoughts, to go with my own. I don't care what everybody else doing. I'm finna do this. Yeah. And it helped me to realize that, like, even though, you know what I'm saying, no shade to anybody else, but even though we all alike, it gotta be some kind of distinguishment, because I couldn't get caught up in some of what the other kids grew up and got caught up in, because I'm supposed to be different. I'm supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, represent my family and my background. That's and dope. The name that
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it means something, like,
yeah,
bro,
you not finna mess up this name.
And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? I respect that, because from a people who don't know their name, your last name really is not Johnson. Yeah. You're not Johnson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just the fact that you know it, because it drills them values into you, like, bro, like, you're not feeling, nah, you're this. But that's the power of it, because you know what you are you knew what you were from an early age. Like, this is what I am. This is where I come from. This is who my daddy was. This is who my granddaddy was. Who a lot of Americans, you know what I'm saying, African Americans can't say that. Like, or don't want to say it. My granddaddy was locked up.
And I ain't gonna lie. Well, I got that too. That was on the other side. That was on the side from Mississippi. Yeah, but
shout out to the Silk, man. Mississippi in the house.
But on that side though, I'm about 2 or 3 generations removed from Native American. So there's
tribe. Tell me the tribe.
Cherokee.
Everybody can't be Cherokee.
It is Cherokee. No. I want to say Blackfoot Choctaw.
I'll take that.
Mississippi is one of them. It's either Cherokee or Choctaw, but I think it's Blackfoot Choctaw.
Chickasaw.
No. It's either Choctaw or Cherokee. I don't think it's Cherokee. I think like you go further than 3 or 4 generations, because my great grandma was straight Indian, Native American, and white, and then my great granddaddy, my granddad's parents, great granddad was mixed. He was black and white. Yeah. And then my great grandma was Native American and white.
Boy, you a lot of things.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, my granddad was so much Native American, he got rights to the reservation, but because he was an OG, you know,
he was OG.
When allowed, but he ran the city, man. I heard he slapped the mayor for talking junk about MLK.
Slapped the mayor.
And then go to jail.
For talking about Martin.
He did.
He didn't get banged up.
They say he was a freedom fighter, and he was definitely.
Was he a freedom slapper?
He slapped freedom out. Let him know you not free.
He slapped his way to freedom, bro.
Right? You ain't free to talk crazy around me,
Django.
Yeah, but they say he knew Medgar Evers' mom.
That's hard.
I just found out he passed like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff coming out. You know what I'm saying? OG, triple OG, like, man, it's a lot, man. But one thing I really respect about him is that not only was he an impact player in his city, like he ran his town, he ran the town, but also he stood for something, man. He lived and he died how he wanted to, and he always took care of his family. And that's one thing to say, like on his deathbed, he was like, man, I don't want to be here. I don't want to stay in the hospital. I don't want to stay in hospice care. I want to go home. He died a week later, but he made the decision and he lived his whole life like, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. This is what I don't want to do and I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And for me, it's like, man, a lot of folks were sad. It was like, man, that's foolish. You could have just been on dialysis for the rest of your life and lived. And it's like,
how old was he?
He was in his 80s.
Oh, nah.
But it's like, man, yeah, exactly.
He lived.
I don't want to live like that. Nah. I don't want to have to be weak after y'all done took all my blood out and put it back in. Like,
especially at that age.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm straight. And my grandma passed like 15, 20 years ago. So yeah. But just looking back, the older I get, and you know, I got kids. I got a 1 and 2 and 3 year old son. He finna be 2 this month, July. I have to learn these things so I can explain it to them and help to cultivate what's in them and teach them, like, hey, like, we don't do this because this ain't who we are. I'm already teaching my daughters, you know, because they was back and forth with me and mom. So it's like every time I get an opportunity, I got to pour into them as much as possible. But it's like, man, like just making sure they all understand what we come from and what's in us. Don't be out here trying to find yourself in everybody else. Is like, nah. Yeah, this is who you are. Yeah,
and that's the power. Like that's the power of, to me, fathers. Because I read this in the Miles Monroe book. You know what I'm saying? Like your father tell you who you are. Because a lot of people have identity issues, you know, and we don't know who we are because you never had nobody to tell you who you are. So
who knew
who already knew, you know what I'm saying? So we get in life trying to make up who we are. Well, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? When really it should have been in the perfect situation. Your father would have told you from jump, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is what we believe in.
Right.
So you moving forward, there's really no question.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you decide to change that course, at least you are solid on what's in you and what you know what I'm saying?
And at least you got something to come back to.
Check this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that my mama actually had a dream of being a performing artist. I didn't know. I didn't think about music till I got filled with the Holy Ghost and got saved and all that good stuff. I was just gonna get money, however that happened, and I was gonna be a professional tennis player. Those were my two things that I wanted to do growing up. I didn't want to do nothing else. I wasn't trying to do nothing else. I didn't care to do nothing else. Got filled with the Holy Ghost, changed everything. Music came into the picture. I didn't know my dad was a DJ in college. Right.
It's in your blood, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, like, I'm just manifesting what was already there. I had no clue.
And maybe you're the answered prayer to what they were praying.
Perhaps.
Because my family did music as well. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad and my uncles and them had groups and they was in the newspaper in a little small little country town.
Yeah.
And not to say he taught me to do music or anything like that, or they pushed me, or I didn't even know about it until later on. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was so long ago, it was way before me.
Right.
But yeah, like when I look back at that, I'm like, it kind of makes it's in your blood,
right?
Bro.
And no accidents.
And it got to get out.
Yeah.
Somebody gotta chase it.
Yeah. Somebody
gotta chase it and see what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it's funny that God will just keep on putting stuff in your lineage. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Jesus, like, eventually you gonna hit the Christ. Like David, you know what I'm saying? From Adam and Eve and Abraham and going through all that. Eventually we gonna hit the Christ. But we gotta let these other lineages live their life and pass.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something that's dope too. DNA carries memory.
It does.
So even though there's like my ex, she didn't grow up with her biological dad, but then when she finally did meet him, it was like, man, you danced.
You the missing piece.
I'm not like anybody else on my mama's side. nobody else. She's a dancer and the classical trained kind, not the exotic kind. But I know. But come to find out, Pops got all the rhythm. Pops enjoy dancing. Pops is like that. You know what I'm saying? But she, on mom's side, like, when nobody active like that, when nobody artistic, creative. But then when she met up with Dad, man, you the reason why I'm like this. But again, the whole point of it is that memory. I mean, the DNA carries memory, and so it's like, man, I don't even have to know you to be like you.
But also the trauma too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah. So we'll dive into it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it carried trauma too, and some of the stuff we battling is not even necessarily our fight,
right?
But God equipped us to defeat it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about breaking generational curses, son, it might not be your particular curse.
Right.
It could be from the line, you know what I'm saying, from one generation, 2 generations, 3 generations ago.
Yeah.
But God was like, bro, I put it in you.
Yeah.
I put it in your daddy too.
Yeah.
I put it in your granddaddy too. They ain't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I put the same thing in you. Now you got the choice. Do you want to activate this?
Right. Or are you going to stop it
or
from
you
going to the next generation?
Or you going to, you know what I'm saying, pass it down to your sons.
Yeah.
Or daughters or whoever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard decision, like, we got to make as believers. Like, bro, am I gonna nip this thing in the bud, or am I gonna play with it? You know what I'm saying?
Because it get real selfish, and it's like, man, I have a right to, and I ain't perfect, and I ain't gotta be perfect, and it's right. You right.
Yeah.
There is grace for you to be and experience and to live your life and to learn your lessons the hard way, but your son's gonna have to pay for the sins of the fathers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, if you don't stop it, that's cool. You can be forgiven and maybe get it right before you pass on. But when your kids grow up and they see you drunk, they see you with multiple women, not your mama, and they see you with, you know what I'm saying, having all these different issues, or they see you being late all the time. It don't have to be nothing detrimental. It could be like, we cannot be on time. It's a personal thing.
Me too.
So, but
we're gonna pray for each other. We're gonna touch and agree.
Right. We breaking that generational curse. And it's like, and even trying to trace it back, like, it ain't always a deep spiritual thing. It's like, man, I never seen us be on time. So I don't think that I don't even know what that looks like.
It's a value.
I don't have
It's value.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you late, and I'm talking to me, a lot of times sometimes you don't value time.
Right. Where you going over where you at.
Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, I'll be honest, like, if I dealing with the people we deal with, CP time is a real thing, and it's like, bro, I don't want to get there early, and y'all ain't ready.
Right.
But it's not about who ready and who not. It's about your own personal, your own personal conviction. Well, I'm just gonna be waiting in, but I'm gonna be on time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you have to intentionally fight that fight. Man. Because it's natural to just be like, well, shoot, they gonna be late anyway. It's 6:00. Shoot, I know ain't nobody gonna be there till about 6:45. So I'll leave. I'll hop in the car at 6:20.
Okay.
And y'all supposed to be there at 6:00. That's you're perpetuating the mindset. And then little man looking at you like, didn't they say we was supposed to be there at 6:00? When he get old enough to,
it's
7:30, you hopping in the car and it's like, okay, like they see it, but they're not gonna say nothing.
They can't articulate it,
but they see it.
They can't articulate it all the way. They can,
but I tell you what also they can feel that you rushing. They can feel that you just patient. Yeah. They can feel that you in the car in some kind of way. You fussing at everybody, and they didn't do nothing but just drive.
They ain't do nothing but get in the car.
Right. Like I had to get on myself one day. I was like, man, like, boy, you acting like these folks been waiting their whole life to piss you off and make you late today. Like they've been waiting their whole life, carefully calculated. Okay, he's on I-20. All right, make sure you're in third lane from the third lane.
Jump in front of him. Jump in front of him right now and drive really slow.
Slow. And it's like, man, these people weren't studying me. They was just going where they was going. It's like, it bothers me because I'm late. Yep. And I need a scapegoat, so I don't take this personal accountability. Well,
that real.
Oh.
Hey, that real. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because I'm one of them. Yeah. But like you say, they see it, you know what I'm saying? And you don't, like you say, you don't want to perpetuate that same cycle, because I honestly, I believe and I know it's opportunities that you're gonna miss.
Yeah, I miss plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And tennis and the music being late. And it's like, man, I just got to eat it. And it's like, I know that I should have been on time. And it wasn't even so much that the opportunity hurt so much. It was the fact that, like, man, I should have beat this by now. Or feeling like I should have beat this by now. I know how to be on time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, why didn't I leave on time? Playing my day back over. And it's like, I was sitting in the bed scrolling. I decided to get up 30 minutes later than I knew I was supposed to. I was up. I was awake. I decided to lay back down.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to get 15 more minutes, which turned into 30.
I ain't gonna cap. And Kev on stage, man. Shout out to Kev on stage. He said he don't care how late he is. He gonna take that shower, boy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna care. I'm trying to take me a shower before I go,
Listen,
boy.
man.
I don't want to be.
That relaxation. Hey, that hot water do something to you.
Be on time or smell. Sometimes you gotta smell. You go
Listen, man. That's where I'm at right now with it. It's like, man, I don't care what I miss out on. I'm trying to be there. And I might miss a meal. I might not get to eat. I might not get to stop and get my favorite little drink on the way there. I might have been, I don't know, waiting for something all day. And it's like, man, because I waited 5 minutes too late. That's gonna, if I stop right now, it's gonna make me 10 minutes late. If I get some gas right now, it's gonna make me 10 minutes late. And it's like, but it'd be so convenient for later. It's like, okay, do you want to be convenient or you want to be on time?
Man, it's the same. I heard this saying, it changed my life. If you do what's hard now, your life will be easier later.
Mm.
If you do what's easy now,
It's gonna be hard.
your life gonna be hard later. You know what I'm saying? That go for everything. That go for health.
Yeah.
If you eat what you want to eat now, you're gonna pay for it later. If you do the right thing, eat the right things now, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a whole lot easier.
Cause you got good habits now.
Yeah, so
That don't mean go eat trash later. That mean your habits are gonna be changed to the hard things, and they won't be so hard.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing before we go to the next one, man. I saw some pastor. He was preaching about multiplication, like when God want to multiply.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Yeah, that joint hard, bro.
That's Pastor Mike, the dude.
Shout out Pastor Mike. Yeah, so he was talking about like addition.
Yeah.
The world adds, you know what I'm saying? And God trying to multiply. So we look at what other people got and stuff like that, and like, shoot, God, why I ain't got, you know what I'm saying? Why I ain't got the car? Why I ain't got the house? Why I ain't got the followers? Why I don't got the subscribers? Why I don't got the money? Why I don't have this? And we looking at it like, well, God, you added to them. Why can't you add to me? And it's like, nah, fool. I ain't even trying to add to you. I'm trying to multiply you.
Yes, sir.
So even though they might be in the league now, or they might have all these things now, when I get to working and multiplying in your life, bro, you gonna...
Now catch this. What gets multiplied is the seed that you sowed.
Yeah.
So a seed always produces way more than what one seed will produce you. 3 or 4, one apple tree that produces multiple
thousands and thousands and generations.
That produces more seeds, that produces more apple trees. Now, if we sow that seed back to that, if you do the hard thing now, it'll be easy later. If we sow a hard seed and make sure that it grows up of like, let's just say we the ones that break the curse of being late. And it's hard to be on time because I got to fight these generational traumas, we'll call them, you know what I'm saying, or curses or whatever. Then shoot, by the time after about 10 years, not only am I on time, but my kids are on time. And then my kids perpetuate that behavior pattern of them being on time. So when they kids see them, then my grandkids are on time. Then the great grandkids, you know what I'm saying? And it multiplies because now you have set a new standard. You have set a new example. You know what I'm saying? For it to be multiplied. Or even with money. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with money.
Yeah, I invest. Imagine if you're investing in Bitcoin back when 1,000, like if you hustled up and said,
about 10 years ago, I'm gonna drop a band in this.
I'm gonna take $1,000 and just get me one of them. Just one of them. That $1,000 might have hurt. But now when that one turned to 50, it was worth it.
Man, them folks were paying pennies for Bitcoin.
Listen.
They were paying dollars for Bitcoin. So them folks who've been holding about 10 years.
Multiply.
Man, millionaires. You know what I'm saying? But it still go back to principles.
Mm-hmm.
Planting seed and waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting. Because a lot of people bought it back then. But they got out. Oh shoot, I made $50, man. It's stupid. They ain't gonna make, and take their money right back out. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with God. Like we gotta leave it in there. We gotta leave it. We gotta leave our faith.
Pause.
We gotta leave our faith. I ain't gonna do it.
All right.
We gotta leave our faith. You know what I'm saying? Cause we'll have faith for seasons.
Because if you leave it in, it will multiply.
It's gonna multiply. Look.
You would listen.
Two gonna turn to 3. And,
yeah. My 2 turned to 4. That's how I'm 2.0, man. Everything double up. Listen,
Yes, sir.
Had 2 girls. I left it in there. I got 2 boys now. Listen,
I can't say what I want to say.
my bad.
But you talk.
Yeah.
You talk for us.
Fair enough.
Talk for us. Yeah. All right, man. We'll jump into it, man. We're getting right into it. I need to know about your rap journey, man. Your rap journey.
Okay.
How did you get here? Because really, you're here.
Okay.
Hold on. Why you here? First of all, we'll come back to that question.
Okay.
Because it made me think about how we met. Because I'm like, well, we met through rap.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't meet through rap.
No, we didn't. We met at the church.
We met at the church.
I was at the studio in the church.
Yeah.
And then Tammy, you remember Tammy?
Yeah.
She introduced. She was like, "Man, that's my partner Chris. We doing, we having this wedding over there, and he rap, you rap. I figured y'all should meet.
Rap together. Why everybody always think that?
Especially in church. It's like you guys do the same thing, shit. And we like, oh, okay, yeah, no. Yeah, no, boy, it'd be a bunch.
No offense.
No, all offense. There's a bunch of folks, man. That's just weird. We just not on the same thing. That's why a lot of y'all watching probably don't know me. I just be on something different. No shade. I'm still I'm still your brother in Christ. I'm still your brother in Christ. Brother. I just probably ain't gonna never rap with you, and that's cool. You probably don't like what I like anyway.
Look up, man.
Yeah, say cheese. So, I mean, for me. We talking about us, or we starting about me, my rap?
No, I had got off on the tangent because
okay.
I was thinking like we met through rap, but we didn't meet through rap.
Nah, we
met really on some other type.
At church.
Other type
and
stuff.
And then some kind of way later on we met through music, or we followed up through music, but the first meeting wasn't through that, man. I think that's how it's supposed to be too, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It ain't no expectation. It ain't like yeah.
And it's a lot of folks who we met through music who not still here, who I don't still talk to. I mean, I ain't cut nobody off. It's just season, reason. What they say. Some people meet for a reason. Some people you meet for a season. Some people for a lifetime. You still here, man. So you pushing that lifetime line.
Oh, should we? Oh, dang.
Nah, I ain't. Oh, It's been a minute, boy.
It's been a whole bunch of minutes.
I figure if you're gonna be gone, boy, you'd have been gone by now. So
facts.
The fact that you still here is like, okay, well, hey man, just go ahead and stay for a while. Make yourself comfortable.
I ain't look at it like that.
Yeah, because it's yeah, man. I done seen a lot of people come and go, and it ain't no love lost. It's just something. I say it like this. I was speaking at this hip hop conference at a church, man, and the pastor, he under inspiration of the Holy Spirit, he looked at me and he said, man, don't worry about, well, I don't need to go into that, but he said the people who are around you are your circle. This the circle you're supposed to have. Mm-hmm. And it hit me like a ton of bricks because at the time I don't be concerned about it, but I noticed it. I was like, man, there's a whole lot of people who I got history with and who I thought would have still been rocking. It's not here. Mm-hmm. And it ain't necessarily that they intentionally left, they just not here. They're not available, they're not here, they're not around, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like the connection ain't what it was. And it's like, man, okay, well, it's always gonna be love. Like I ain't gonna forget the history, but at the same time, like in reference for what's going on right now, for lack of better words, it ain't none of your business because you're not here.
Facts. You
know what I'm saying? Like, we can talk about what was, and if you got a contribution to the future, then that's cool, but you're not current. We got to catch up before we can move forward together, so.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely what we do, you wanna make sure as much as you can in relationships, are real. And it's hard to do. Cause I think sometimes it be some real interactions, but I think people just so used to fake interactions.
Mm-hmm.
You'll deny the real ones somebody who really wanna, you know what I'm saying,
Lock in.
come into your life.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna look at you when I say it too. So it be sometimes when situations change, and those situations bring certain aspects out of a person that you didn't know was there, and it's like now you see a different version of them, and you wonder if you want to still be connected anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's like, dang, bro, you came up, all love, man. Okay, I can't talk to you no more because you ain't on my level. You ain't this, that, and the third. And it's like, but we was all coming up together. Yeah. You made it first. Don't mean you was the only. Don't mean you the only one to make it. But people get turned out by popularity. We ain't even gonna call it fame. People get turned out by popularity. People get turned out by money. It
more so popularity, because a lot of people don't got the money.
Well, yeah. Well, in the CHA stuff, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'm talking general, so don't nobody think I'm speaking about anybody in particular specifically. But I just stuff that I seen, like people get on, and if they money magnifies, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, shoot, it's stuff that I could do now that I couldn't do before. So if the only thing stopping me from doing what I really want to do is money or fame or the fact that I need you for whatever, when I don't need you no more, then I get to show my behind. I get to do like I really want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much like you win the lottery. What you doing when you get to your job? First thing I'm doing, I'm cussing everybody out who I want to cuss out. I don't cuss, but you know, but you know what I'm saying? I'm telling everybody how I feel about them for real. I'm quitting. I'm telling the boss her breath stink and she ain't as fine as she thinks she is. She ugly. That's why she still single, ain't got nobody. And telling that coworker,
personal, boy.
All of it, man. All of it. Cause now I no longer need this job. I no longer need this relationship. So now when the need is gone, I can show my true self.
I'm gone.
Yeah. And so it's like, man, it kind of, it's sobering because it's like, okay, well, we was cool because you had a need. But now when that need is gone, we not cool no more because you don't need me. But it's like, dang, bro, like what was we really connected for? Because I was connected not off of the only need I had was for brotherhood.
Yeah.
You had a need of, hey, bro, you look like you doing pretty good. Boy, there's so many people that when Lion the Lamb hit national radio and our Billboard charted, boy, was folks being nice to me and talking to me and speaking and having extra they function in a way they had not functioned before. And then after the song just kind of died out and some of that,
and then it went back to what it was.
It was worse than what it was, because it was like, well, if you not who and what I thought you was finna be, then
that's just crazy.
We ain't got no reason to talk.
I don't get it. I ain't gonna cap, like, and this ain't even where I want to park it, because we still got to get back to your music journey. But I don't understand it. Like, it hurt me. Like, I don't get it. Like, I really don't understand it. How could a position that I recently got mess up what we had before?
Yep. Because it wasn't real.
Yeah. I don't get it. But sometimes it's on us. You know what I'm saying? It's on us. And God just trying to do things in our life and move us to certain situations. And sometimes people can be crutches. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it really everything is to learn.
Yeah.
So you might have learned something from that person. That person might have learned something from you that's gonna help them. You know what I'm saying? And you might have learned something from them that's gonna help you, even though the relationship didn't go how you wanted it to go. It still was something that can be took from it.
It was a purpose.
It was a purpose, but then I think God just trying to create some thick skin in us too. Sometimes it's like, bro, the world don't revolve around you. This is just a reminder. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even when, it got to be almost expected. Yeah. Okay, people gonna love me if I'm hot.
Yep.
And people gonna bash me when I'm down. Same thing with Jesus. Like, we not no better than Jesus, bro.
I'm
like,
trying to tell you.
So imagine how he felt when he came out healing people, doing miracles, and but he was a man.
Jesus, he's
yeah, 5,000 people following him. You know what I'm saying? How we gonna feed these folks?
2 pieces for everybody.
Yeah, but then you had on the other end you had the Pharisees and the Sadducees and
even Judas.
Yeah, and when they point and when the people felt like they were right, well, we gonna jump sides and go back with them.
Stone them.
Yeah. Free Barabbas. You know what I'm saying?
But that's and you know what, that whole dynamic, the one thing that God has been dealing with me and I've been learning a lot these last maybe year and a half, 2 years is about grace and patience. And just realizing that everybody is the way that they are for a reason. And people can change, but nobody's gonna change like instantly. You know what I'm saying?
On our time.
Yeah, it's like, man, give people an opportunity to grow, because I'm not who I was 5, 10, 15 years ago. I'm not who I was 10 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I am, but I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm maturing every single day. And so it's like, man, people what did Jesus say when he was on the cross? He was like, man, or when they chose Barabbas, he said, forget them because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And now the church bigger than it's ever been.
And we still don't know what we're doing.
We still don't know what we're doing.
That's a word.
But it's a whole lot more people that don't know what they're doing than it was back then. It was a handful, but it grew. It kept growing.
That's scary.
Because somebody found out a little piece of the puzzle and was like, you know what, shoot. By the time they got to the Pentecost, it was already bigger than what the church had ever been. Mm-hmm. People who were just believers. It wasn't even so much about we all show, I'm gonna mess with that. All show up on a Sunday morning and lift our hands and sing hymns, songs, and spiritual songs.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about that. It was, we believe, period. We believe he's the Messiah, he's the Christ, he's the Son of God, Son of Man. We believe, and we all here for something to happen. I don't know what we here for, but we here because we believe. And it's like, man, where was them people's belief? Not even the people, because I'm sure they was all there. Where was them people's belief or that belief at when he was being crucified? When they were them same people, I'm sure was in the crowd when they was making the judgment decision on which one y'all want, Jesus or Barabbas. Mm-hmm. Where was it wasn't there. It wasn't necessarily the people that made the call. It was their belief. They picked Barabbas because they didn't believe Jesus was good for them, a Christ or somebody, some gospel. They did not believe the gospel of Jesus Christ. They did not believe the good news of this man is going to save our eternal souls or be at least the catalyst that connect me back to God.
They were fans.
They was fans. I appreciate what you do, and when you stop doing it, I'm gonna find me somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else gonna fill that void real fast, my boy. Real fast.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get into it, man. Tell us about your musical journey. I know it's gonna be it's a long journey. I done heard.
I'm gonna try to shorten
a lot of it, but just condense it.
Yeah. So man. Okay, so it started, man. I got saved, was homeless, and I was went to this little prayer meeting. I was still trying to be active in ministry and stuff. I was like kind of sort of homeless, but not for real. My mom, I'm a military kid too. That's another side. So my mom was overseas and she got me into school, got me my tennis scholarship, and then she took off. I ain't see her for like the next 10 years really. So like she had a house in Clayco. And so when I got into I told you about the gold teeth situation. It really did get me about kicked out of school. I lost part of my scholarship. And they said I would have to come back without them gold teeth and with a good attitude and make me it was all kind of stuff, man. It wasn't right. But it's part of my process. But anyway,
come
man.
Back with a better attitude, and we'll think about letting you back in.
It was a letter, bro, formalized that way. Because I was a big personality. But anyway, so I'm homeless. That's how I had to be to stay on campus and to keep going to school because I ain't have no way to keep going to class otherwise. Mm-hmm. So I'm homeless. I'm going to this prayer meeting for I don't know what we was praying for, but I was there. I tried to be Mr. Saved Saint. So I'm there, man, and I get to talking and I meet Torian. Torian He was like, man, you do music? He was like, I do music too. People was trying to connect us. They was like, man, you need to meet him. He was like, I got a microphone and a computer in my room if you want to record something. So I had written 1 or 2 songs. I was trying to meet like an artist, and I was trying to be a producer for the best artist, the best gospel rap artist in the world. I had never, only gospel rap I knew of was Kenton Jones and
Shout out Kato.
shout out to K-Joe and this group called SYF from Alabama. I had never heard gospel rap. Before that, it was all Israel Houghton, Shekinah Glory Ministries, and Fred Hammond. That's all I knew gospel music was, and the choirs that be on the radio. So I was like, "Bet we finna change the world with this."
But everybody thought. Everybody who do gospel rap, bro, that's what they thought.
I'm finna change the world with this. I still believe it. Let me shoot. I'm still believing it. So I started writing. I got ambitious. I was like, man, I ain't met the artist yet, but I'm gonna write some songs for him too, and just give him some beats and some songs, and we just gonna take over. Like, boy, ain't nobody coming like we finna come. So Torian was like, man, you got anything written? You done this before? I was like, nah, bro. I just started, and I gave him what I had. He read it. He was like, hey, this is pretty good. He been a gospel rapper since he was like 14 though. So he grew up in church and stuff. So he read it and he was like, hey, bro, like, you might be the artist that you was waiting on or that you was looking for.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, okay, whatever. But he had me, I recorded my first song. It was called Crump for Christ. And then...
Horrible.
But
Tory, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you, Tory.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna tell. But it was a A-Town bass type song too that I made. I gotta find it. That mother was slick hard.
Right now, don't find it.
But anyway, then my second song I made was called Preach, and Preach went hard too. But I had him feature on it.
Yeah.
And then after he featured on it, I was like, bro, you wanna shoot? We can go ahead and split the third verse. And it not just be a feature. It was like we tag team the song. And then, tag team and turned into TNT. And it was TNT for the next couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And then around 2016, man, I gotta tell this part. We had got to this point where we got on the biggest concert tour of all Christian music. It was called Creation Fest. They had 4 of them. They had one in Philadelphia, one in Washington, one in Minnesota, and one in Kentucky. We was on the first year. We was only in the one in Minnesota. The second year, we got booked on all of them.
For real?
Couldn't make it, bro, because his wife was pregnant. They was having babies like every other year. He was like, man, I feel like I should stay at home and support my wife. And that was like the thread that kept unraveling the group. And it was like, you know what? And at the time I was kind of going through splitting from my ex, and it was like, man, I feel like I need to keep going. Like, I can't stop the music situation because I respect it to a degree anyway. But I was like, man, you know what? I got to keep going. And then 2.0 was not born, but the solo career was born.
Yeah, so this 16?
Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
And then I dropped my first project called Moves and Movies, which low key was my
Ricky
therapy.
Bobby them?
Yeah, Shake and Bake.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, I had that. I probably still to this day got the only song with 1K Few and T Strike on it. It was on the remix. Yep. And then off of that I had On the Martyr, which Martyr was trying to buy and negotiate to use for their situation promotions. And then I had Lion the Lamb. Mm-hmm. Lion the Lamb was my first song that ever hit big Billboard chart, making it on the Willie Moore Jr. show.
Shout out Willie Moore.
Yeah, big shout out to Willie Moore, man, and the opportunity. It changed. It did. I'm wrestling with changed my life because It did. But there's a part of it that's like, man, because how my faith set up, it's like, man, God be showing me stuff before it happens, so when it happened, I can't act surprised. Like, I didn't know it was gonna happen, how it happened, but God told me that was a song. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When it was recorded, I had no clue how it was gonna happen. I just knew that it could, and that one day this one probably gonna pop off. It's like, I went to this $15 open mic. It's really $20, but, you know, finesse my way in a little A-Town charm. You know what I'm saying? Got in how I got in. And Did the open mic. I didn't even think I did that good of a job, but I performed it. His producer was there. His show producer, Big Med, was there. And
on the south side.
yeah.
I know you're talking about
He was
85.
there. Boy, it was a whole 8 of us in there because I don't think nobody really knew about it.
I think I went to one or two. I went to a couple of them.
He was like, "Hey, bro, send me that song." I was like, "This one?" He's like, "Yeah, I like it. We'll see what happens." Yeah, I said, "Okay." Now he didn't know that I knew Willie Moore Jr. and our meeting wasn't necessarily the greatest at first, because we were shooting at Preachers of Atlanta with Kent Jones. I was part of that whole situation. So, yeah. So me and Willie Mo, brother Mo, the introduction necessarily wasn't the smoothest, but you know that's a brother in the faith now. Some kind of way he was like, "Yeah, I like it. Let's play it. Let's run it." And support local artists. That was what the tension was about when he had first got on the radio and stuff. Because I was like, man, there's so many local artists. I feel like they need to get more support. And if you're not going to support the local artists, then you ain't really doing nothing. And I don't think he appreciated my approach. I didn't know him that well. But as a spokesman for the city, I feel like this is my city and I'm one of the ones that can speak on behalf of the city. I spoke up. And it wasn't it was what's a big word tumultuous. But it was heard, it was respected, and you know, they say brothers are born in adversity. That's what the Bible say. Yeah. Look, got them hands again.
Here we go, man. He's trying to get an offer. That's what
right. No, but yeah, man. So that's how that song popped off. That's like 2018. Yeah. So fast forward past that, you know what I'm saying? That did what it did, and I learned a lot about the publishing side and the business side. Why the song was on and Billboard charted top 200, and then how it faded away real quick. But them politics and them behind them closed door business situations is not a joke, boy. I don't care how good your music is. If you're not tapped in with the business side, that success is gonna be short lived. Everything you think is viral is not an accident. It's not a happenstance. It's not because it's just good music. It don't work like that. And I ain't even talking about no Illuminatis or nothing like that. It's just, if I got millions of dollars and decades invested into this industry, you think I'm finna let a nobody come out of with $15 and come and dominate and take over what I built?
I gotta let you in. I gotta open the door.
And if I can't eat off of it,
I'm gonna shut it down.
I'm gonna shut it down, bro. Like, get them out of here, man. All right, that was cute. That was cool. Get them out of here, man. Come on, we got business. Listen, we got 50 years of a relationship. This guy's taking our spot.
Yeah, he taking somebody's spot.
Yeah, so I had to
learn. Who's willing
to
pay good money?
Yeah, them labels do not play about it. But anyway, so yeah, man, that held up, and then I found out that what I do is bigger than music, and I found out that the music is just a component of it. And so I started to become more socially active. I always did like the outreaches and all that kind of stuff as a performer, but I also realized, like, one of my OGs, man, he go by Saul Paul from out of Austin, Texas. The man got a key to the city, man. He one of them folks that's moving and really on our side, but he don't move through CHH through those channels, so you wouldn't necessarily know he was who he was, but like
him.
Yeah, bro. So he put me on some game, and he was like, man, listen, I'm gonna share this jewel with y'all, man. He said, you can perform at a big situation, and that's cool. It's an event. It's a one-time situation. Put you on for a moment. Or you can take that moment and you can capitalize, maximize, build a relationship, and then that moment spins over into a couple of events. And so now you're somebody's go-to man. You're somebody's, hey, I thought about you the other day. I got this other event. So now that event, it's not just an event, it turns into a relationship that produces more events. And he was like, you know, I learned from that to not just be excited about being on the mic, but then also understand the other side of it. Like, if we really here to impact lives and change lives, then it's more than just what you say on the mic. All that stuff is, by the time you get to the mic, that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that we had a conversation. I came to your school. I came to your youth detention center, and we spent time. And I talked, and I really did care, not just on some gimmick networking type stuff, but like, no, I care enough to like I do this for real because again, if the mission is to impact lives, then it's got to go beyond the microphone because the microphone is what you're showing me, but I need to know that there's something substantial or more substance behind it so the microphone makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You eat a cake that ain't got no fluff to it, ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? No, it ain't solid. Then it's like, man, that junk, it was just air. It looked good. The icing was sweet, but it was hollow. You know what I'm saying? And so I understood that the there needed to be more works to go with the faith that I was speaking on the mic. You know what I'm saying? And so I got more active in prison ministry, homeless ministry. I connected with city takers. Shout out to Scott Free.
Scott.
Connected with city takers, and I got active because I personally felt like, man, listen, I love what y'all are doing. I love it. I appreciate it. At the time, I was like, man, I started looking. I was like, dang, bro, you from New Jersey. You grew up here, but you claim New Orleans. You from Miami. I was like, God dog it, ain't nobody from Atlanta. I was like, man, y'all, you're doing great things in my city and dirty work that ain't nobody else doing. But it's like, man, let me get a part. I'm from the city. I bet it'll hit different if somebody from the city come back and serve the city too. And I've always had that mindset, and not I hope not in a cocky way, but it just felt like, man, it'll hit different if one of our own come back and I can say things that y'all can't say because y'all not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You all are. I felt like it was like, man, y'all outsiders coming back to help, and that's great. That's beautiful. Like that's what the body of Christ looked like. But it's like, man, somebody from the city is secure enough to get involved and pour back in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's things that we can talk about being from here that you can't talk about if you grew up in Miami. Like you don't know about underground for real. You know what I'm saying? You don't know about certain clubs and certain other places and certain the Murder Kroger. You don't know about Washington Park and when Freaknik started and all this other kind of stuff. So it's just, again, I my passion was woken up for my city to be able to really impact, and I just been riding off of that since then, man. Yeah. And just being more socially active, and I still kept the music coming. That ain't gonna never go nowhere, but now it's charged with my social activity.
Yeah. And I'm with it, bro. Like mine's is the youth, you know what I'm saying? I think we both got the same heart, you know what I'm saying, toward the youth. So whatever I can do, you know what I'm saying, to help them, I steer them in the right direction, or, you know what I'm saying, to give back, you know. First of all, that's what I do for a living, but also I do that outside of, you know what I'm saying, making money. So
yeah.
Man, let's talk about man, how did you get a song with Project Pat, bro? Shout out to Project Pat, man. One of the goats in rap music history. You know what I'm saying? Go check your history. One of the goats, one of the pioneers of so many styles, and I don't even want to get started on that. You know what I'm saying? Folk might not know, but
listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something else you don't know. Project Pastor, man, that man is a preacher.
Yeah, oh yeah. But him and his brother, you know what I'm saying?
They PKs.
Their daddy was a preacher, so we just talked about the DNA, bro. It was in them.
Yep.
The values, the morals is in them. It just, you get to a certain age where you make those decisions that you want to make, and you can live the lifestyle that you want to live, but what they put in you as a kid never truly leaves. The most you can do is just deny it and push it to the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I if I can share a revelation.
Here we go.
Time, my brother.
Time.
If you look in your dictionary, is defined as the distance between two events. So time is not necessarily minutes, hours, and seconds, but time is notified by the last event that it's time for the next event. So winter.
I thought time was a spice.
No, that's THYME. Time, as we know it, knows when the next thing is supposed to happen because of an event. When this event happens, it's time for the next thing. So as we were speaking about brother Project Pastor pontificating, there was some events that occurred in his life that signified the next time.
Hello.
The era of Project Pastor. When that man, listen, even since we was in communication, I ain't gonna act like that man like my best friend and nothing like that. We don't, you know what I'm saying? I can get to him, but he definitely not answering every time I call. Like we got the relationship of knowing each other 10 years. But what I do know about him is that that man been solid in the prison ministry. I'm talking about.
For real.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Since we kind of connected, like, and I'm not saying I had anything to do with it, but like he was like, God was dealing with me. So it happened on Instagram, and I was like, before just jumping on a feature opportunity, I was like, hey, bro, like, what make you want to do a gospel song? I'm just curious. Like, I ain't even thirsty for a feature. I'm sure I ain't even got the budget, so I don't even want to disrespect you with, you know what I'm saying, none of that. But I was like, man, I'm curious. Like, I want to offer myself as a brother in Christ, but beyond that, like, what make you want to do this? He's like, God been dealing with me, bro. He was like, man, just God been so good to me and been dealing with me, and it's something that I've been wanting to do. And so that's where it started, man, and just kind of chopped it up over the next couple months. And one day he was like, man, let's make it happen. And it happened. And I sat on it for a long time to the point where he probably forgot. He was like, man, this dude don't appreciate nothing. He ain't trying to do nothing. But I wanted to make sure it was right, and I didn't want to waste it. So it took me probably about 6 to 8 months before I actually finished the song.
Oh, sure, that's normal. I feel like that's normal.
After he sent me the verse.
Oh.
Right. So after he sent me the verse.
Yeah, process.
He sent it to me in November. The song dropped in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again,
musically, that's a long time. Talking about going from winter to summer.
Yeah. Because again, keep in mind, for me, the goal was impact, and it was like, man, more than I'm concerned about. Everybody gonna want to listen to it because they curious. They're like, man, I ain't heard Project Pat on no gospel song. Mm-hmm. Like, it's gonna be gospel, like with Jesus and stuff. Like 3 6 Mafia Project Pat. Like, all right, I gotta hear what this is gonna sound like. And for me, it's like, yeah, I knew that kind of attention was gonna come, but I also knew that he was gonna listen to it, and I wanted to make sure that this was if we never talk again, that it wasn't just let me piggyback off your clout and say whatever I want to say to make sure, because I know people gonna listen to it. It's like, no, let's make it in alignment and say something that really matters and makes sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I got a Memphis producer. I made sure that the subject matter was something that was believable and realistic. It's like, I don't care who it is. Everybody got a story. That's why the name of the song called My Story. Like, tell how you got to this point where you want to talk about God and what God has done for you. So the whole point of it was shoot, it's very realistic and believable that we would talk about our stories. Now, if I said I was talking about, shoot, let's talk about some goddamn wood grain steering wheels or some triple gold D's. I don't have that kind of stuff no more. I did have a wood grain steering wheel, but I don't have that kind of stuff. In the box, Sherry. I don't know.
You can get you another one. Amazon, I'm pretty
sure. Right. I'm gonna be like $500 now. Yeah. But yeah, man. So that's how it came to happen, man. It was an Instagram situation, but we chopped it up, and I just, my heart was to make sure that it was impactful to him first. Yeah. Because everybody got songs that they listen to, but once you get to a certain level in life and an influence, I don't take that access for granted. And so it's like, I didn't want to waste the opportunity trying to show off and make people see me a certain kind of way, when it was like, nah, bro, like, if I could say something of value with the word that could either add to or add some fuel to his flame and passion for the Christ and for the gospel, and to see people, that's what I want to do. Then it's like, I'd rather take that route than to try to use this as a clout chase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
hey, now that's one of my favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? Listening to, I think I was like a preteen, probably like middle school. You know what I'm saying? Listening to Pat. So But just to see his conversion is dope, you know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
don't even know how much conversion it was. And like
He
that's
knew.
who he was already. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And when that man, I'm telling you, man, that watch his interviews. That man, I
I
seen
seen him. He dead serious. He ain't playing at all.
Man, that man came on the Big Fat podcast. I went to go see him just to put a face to the name before we had talked in person.
Mm.
And that man walked out on stage and gave Jade and Big Bank a Bible. He was like, and DJ
Man,
Holiday. He was like, I got a present. He was like, I bought a present for y'all. And
Yeah.
he was like, man, he gave everybody a Bible on the stage.
That hard.
Yeah, it's like.
So we'll go back. The last question we'll go back to that.
Okay.
Right now, we got a little segment. It's called Bad Bible Jokes, man. Bad Bible Jokes, real fast.
Okay.
What do you call a sleepwalking nun? What do you call a sleepwalking nun? Put in the comments
Sleepwalking
before I
nun.
tell you. A sleepwalking nun.
Sister Mary. No, I don't know.
A Roman Catholic.
Roman?
Roaming. Not Roman.
Oh, sleepwalking. Got
Sleepwalking.
you.
Roaming
Got
Catholic.
you. Dum.
Yeah. Bad Bible jokes,
But
man.
these some dad jokes. Yeah.
Bad Bible jokes. Why was Cain a terrible farmer?
Because he used blood.
Hey, that is incorrect. America, that is incorrect.
Right.
Because he wasn't able.
Mm.
Because he wasn't able.
Mm.
That felt good.
That was
That felt good.
biblically.
That felt good.
It's in the Bible. That's you in the book.
Hey, that's bad Bible jokes.
What they say, you walking heavy, sir.
Walking heavy. Hey man, we got another segment.
Okay.
I want you to check out this picture, and I'm gonna show the picture. Yeah, I don't see it.
Oh,
check
man.
out this picture.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot going on.
Yeah, that's that brown and pink song, ain't it?
That's the brown and pink and brown.
Pink and brown. Yeah.
That's the pink and brown. But hey,
No, sir.
matter of fact, you go, because I was gonna tell you what I thought when I first saw it.
So you want me to say what I think?
What's going through your mind?
Boy, you gonna get me in trouble or something.
Okay.
The G14 classified, man. I'm gonna have to tell you off the camera, man.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Hey, the first thing I thought, I was like, bruh, the church got some work to do.
Listen.
We done took a step back, bruh. So let me tell y'all, y'all, you might have already saw it. If you haven't,
I got a thought. I will share.
Let me give a little preface first. So the BET Awards, you got an artist, a young lady, and she's talking about her private parts and getting pretty detailed. And you got these gospel icons sitting pretty close to her as she's rapping, and you could just see on their face the disgust. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, the church got some work to do. We got some real work to do, bro. Cause I think, yeah.
I thought they had just changed up the outfits on the liturgical dances. I thought it was one of the this youth Sunday, and they let the youth pick their own outfit.
A little less cloth.
No, them the Midianite women.
They not Hebrew.
No.
They showing Hebrew.
They
don't have us following strange gods.
They're not the children of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob.
Yeah.
No.
Nor Jacob.
Them Midianite women.
Yeah, them
Canaanites.
Canaanites.
You weren't supposed to fool.
Them Canaanites.
Yeah.
But I was like, we got some work to do, bro. Like
the Midianites loose.
It's a lot of influence going on, and stay strong. All the Christians in up there, y'all stay strong. And I don't know if you need to go to that award show. There's plenty of other ones where they don't talk about stuff like that. You go to them, but I don't know. You go to anyone that God leads you to. But that was interesting.
What I will say though is, it really shows like the value system for what it means to be a person of the cloth for a man of God these days. Cause it's like, man, at one point in time, it wasn't. I wouldn't necessarily say it's fear, but it's like, man, I still won't cuss in front of my mama. I still won't call her by her first name. My sister will, both. But I know that's rude. I ain't have to tell her business like that. But it's like it's a certain level of respect that you have. Like it's folks that won't cuss in front of me. That you know what I'm saying? And it's not even so much because I told them not to, but it's a level of respect that they have for me. It's like you just kind of like you being around, like you know that like, dang, bro, like he real and he solid, but he don't. I ain't never heard him say certain words. I ain't never heard him talk certain ways. I know it's folks, grown men that'll hit me. They like, hey, OG, like, and I had to not get out my feeling. Like, damn, I'm old enough to be an OG now. But he was like, hey, OG, he was like, man, I'm finna send you this record, man. Tell me what you think about it. And it's strip club music, but he was like, man, I know you ain't on that and you don't promote that kind of stuff and all that kind of stuff. He was like, but is it put together well? Is it put together? You know what I'm saying? Do it sound clean though, because I trust your opinion. But here's the catch. I never put out a disclaimer. I never put out a thing to say, hey man, don't send me this, don't talk about this, I don't want none of it. It was because he was impacted by the real God in me that he had a certain level of respect to where it was like, man, I know this ain't what you really own right now, and I know this not what you about, but I don't know who else I can trust to take some of my real feelings about some stuff and to tell me creatively, is it good enough? I know you don't co-sign this kind of talk and this kind of X, Y, and Z, but from an artistic standpoint, I'm asking your opinion. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I had to appreciate that because it's like, first of all, you respect me enough to even put out a disclaimer. Okay. And they even ask, can I shoot it to you? So it's like, for me, it's like the God in me, you either you see or have been impacted by the God in me. Because for me, it's like, man, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I am somebody, but I ain't nobody special. It's like, I didn't tell you had to or didn't have to do nothing. Like, it almost make it counterfeit when you gotta say it like that. Yeah. When you gotta tell them like, all right, don't y'all come in here talking that mess around me. It's like,
oh, that mean you doing it.
Yeah, it's like
that mean you with it. you trying to hide something.
Yeah, it's like, but when folks feel like, man, you know what? I respect you, bro. Like, I ain't scared of you or nothing like that, but I respect what you own and what you about and your principles. Mm-hmm. To where I wouldn't want to violate you or put you in a situation where you know what I'm saying, conflict with your principles or whatnot. And when how the conversation started, it's like, man, come on, shoot it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Hey man, I got 2 more questions. We're gonna get out of here.
All right.
It's gonna be a shotgun. I need you to answer them real fast.
Let's do it.
Top three rappers all time.
All time? CeeLo, Andre 3000. And just because I'm from Atlanta, I gotta say T.I.
Okay, that's a cool list. I ain't mad. CeeLo is a GOAT. All of them are GOATs in their own right. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Top 3 actors.
Denzel. Nah. Denzel Washington, definitely. But I gotta say Brad Pitt. That man got some range, man.
I'll take Brad.
I don't think I've ever seen a bad Brad Pitt movie. And then I'm gonna go with Robert Downey Jr. I was gonna say Tom Hanks, but he'll never be anybody other than Forrest Gump. Like he did Forrest Gump too good. You know what? I'm gonna move Forrest Gump out the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna move who I said. I'm gonna move whoever I had in third place out the way. I'm gonna put in Angela Bassett.
Man, so I got Auntie in it,
I got Denzel.
What's up, Auntie?
I got Denzel. I got Brad Pitt, and I got Angela Bassett.
Hey, Auntie.
Yeah. Hey, Auntie.
All right, last one, man. Top 3 movies.
Top 3 movies.
The movies. Just gonna let me know about you.
300.
Take it.
Hey, man.
Pretty Woman.
No, bro. I want to say Friday, but I'm trying to figure out which one.
I'm next Friday, bro. I'm next. Like next got the first one and the last one.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I was too young to really appreciate Friday when the first Friday when it first came out. I was too young, but I get it now.
But you couldn't go to school, bro,
Nah.
without everybody quoting lines
Yes,
from
sir.
next Friday. You cannot go to school.
So I got 300 next Friday, and then
Little Mermaid, the new
I'm gonna have to go Dark Knight.
I should ride with you.
I'm gonna have to go Dark Knight.
That was a game. Yeah, Dark Knight was a game changer.
Yeah.
That's like that's probably slick my second series, like superhero movie series.
Yeah.
Like Avengers and that.
Yeah, cause I'm a movie buff, so it's like when I think about, I'm not just thinking about like what it looked like, how it feel, and emotion. It's like how it was all put together, the plot, the script, the actors, and all that kind of stuff. Like 300 was just, it's just 300, bro. Like the cinematography, the story.
And you're not gonna see nothing like that.
Never.
Everything
Copied
like
it.
Yeah.
It copied it. And then what was the second one? I said next Friday was like they perfected Friday. Like Friday was a hood classic, and everything else before I got the hookup to all the other black classic movies from the 90s. That's cool. But like next Friday, I think perfected it. That style of comedy and comedy for our culture. And then Dark Knight was like the ultimate superhero movie, because it's like, hey, the Joker was like,
come on, man,
bro,
come on.
And to the point where it was like, man, you kind of get it.
Him and Thanos, and I want to say like they rank like top movie villains.
Yeah.
Him and Thanos, that Joker from the Dark Knight series, and Thanos were like top.
The only reason that I would give it the Dark Knight over that was because it was more realistic.
Okay.
Marvel.
We know it's fake, but they gave them real story. Like that's the power in
the stories. Like
they
it
gave
could
them real stories that you can attach to, even as a human. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, bro.
Like there was no superpower, and it's not that I love Marvel movies and I love the superpowers and all that kind of stuff. But it was like, man, Dark Knight was like, you can literally see somebody whose thought process goes through that and really imagine like this could happen in real life. Yeah. Gotham could happen in real life. I don't know if Batman could happen in real, but sound like Detroit to me. But like, it ain't no superpowers. It's the superpower of the thought. You know what I'm saying? And there we go. Yeah, it's the superpower of man. As a man thinketh, so is he. You know what I'm saying?
As a man thinketh well.
Yeah, and so it's like, man, I really can see how somebody can become each of those characters and play that out. It's like, man, how can you not respect how Joker moved? Like, he was crazy, but like, he was too real. It's too real.
Bro, you sound like you want to.
Hey, listen.
Throw on a little smiley face, man.
Not what I mean, but I just like when I look at it, it was just kind of like, bro, like he seen the whole city. He's like, man, y'all fake righteous. Y'all not righteous at all. He was like, man,
boy know the lines.
Yeah, like, hey. I mean, he didn't say that word, but that was a thought process.
I want to say he did.
Yeah, it's like, man,
righteous.
Y'all smart, and he just really dealt with the psychology of how fake and how they try to put on. I hate that kind of stuff too in real life. So it's like, man, you try to put on and perpetrate like you all perfect and
so
like
you point out the hero's flaws.
Yeah, and he was like, the reason why I like you is because you're just like me. You're just like me because you see it, but you chose to do something different about it. You on the other side, so we see the same thing. We know these people crazy. They need saving from themselves, and you know what? I'm just here to show them how crazy they are too. Boy, I'm here to show you that you all are the true villains.
Oh, that boy trying to preach.
Listen, man.
Put this thing into a whole sermon.
Y'all the true villains.
All right, man. Do your hand. I'm finna close that. All right. I am Chris Elijah, and I just went through the process with my homeboy. 2.0. 2.0. Say something good to the people. But talk.
Well, my real name is brother 2 Deuce .0 Muhammad Elijah ex-Nacious of Atlanta, and I would like for all of you all to know that multiplication is always the way. Addition is for the low vibrations. Multiplication will always get you a high vibration, my brother. Mecca.
We gone.